Dear Twin Flame souls out there, welcome to the Twin Flame Awakening Journey podcast, and today's an episode 132. In today's episode, we are going to dive into the pain. Will that pain that you are experiencing on Twin Flame Journey last forever? That longing, that sleepless nights, your body is doing weird things, your mind will not rest down, you're obsessed, you feel so much pain, and the question is, will that last forever? When it will actually stop? I've spoken about the pain previously on my episodes, but today I'm going to go into of understanding how we're going to alchemize this pain and what is causing this pain. As we often think of on this twin flame journey, that the pain is caused by the other person, so-called divine masculine, because after all of that time, you were together, you had a beautiful time, and now all of a sudden you are in a separation, which you didn't know that is coming and is going to be there. And so how long it will last, that pain? And also I'm going to bring it in how to alchemize it and what's going to happen when we do that. But I want to bring your awareness to that pain today. It's not about how to fix the pain. It's not about that is wrong or right. Nothing about this. And in that sense, I was thinking for a very long time, do I want to talk about the pain? Because I have a couple of episodes already. But I felt that many of you are ready to realize that the pain is not caused by your divine masculine. The pain is caused something inside of your soul, which got activated when you met your twin flame. And I know that in today's episode, your ego, when you are very much in the beginning stage, your ego might try to fight back for the information or try to not to accept the information. And that's very normal. I'm going to say, for me, it took a very long time to understand what are twin flames. Why did I meet my twin flame? Why there was such a pain that I could not live, breathe, and even get up from the floor anymore. And all I could ask is, why did they leave? Why he's not coming back? Why I don't hear anymore from him? And that was my obsession for a very long time. And I'm not going to say this is wrong. This is very normal, and I'm going to explain that in today's episode. So if you are ready to alchemize your pain into oneness, that episode can be for you. So stay over here. It might be deep. It might be a little bit hard to listen sometimes, but it's here to help you to alchemize it. Your pain is not your enemy. Your pain is your indicator. And also on this journey, this is not a linear process. And I will explain that. Why is it not a linear process? But before we're going to dive into today's episode, I had something my soul told me another day. And I realized, okay, I think as I talk a lot about alchemizing the pain and working with the energies, since I work a lot with Kundalini energy, I work a lot with the magnetism, all of that because of, you will discover why I talk about this on this episode especially. Alchemizing the energy, working with Kundalini, and becoming a magnet. This is very important on this journey, because if you become a magnet, you attract everything on your frequency in your life. And if your twin flame is on your frequency, you attract them back in your life. And if your twin flame is not on your frequency, then it was never supposed to be on that way. And this is something very important to understand. Frequency is everything. But I'm going to go into that. But anyhow, what my soul was telling to me was the fact that not all of us have a chance to pay for the energy healing, go for the retreats, do all these kind of things. Or maybe, at the moment, your pain and the Kundalini activation has removed everything in your life. You can barely pay your rent, or you can't afford food for your family, anything. I don't know what is your situation, what you're going through, because I know that once we get activated with this divine energy, which we call Kundalini, your life can really, really, really start spiraling. You can lose your job. You can lose your purpose. You don't know who you are anymore. You can have a lot of issues in your life. And so I have decided that any one of you who is listening to that podcast and wants to win, in the sense of $100 on their bank account or credit with me, it's totally up to you. I'm not giving this because you have to have a session with me, because maybe you've been dreaming of buying a book that will help you, or taking a course, or buying yourself a yoga membership, or anything. I don't know what is your dream. So any one of you who is commenting either on Spotify or on YouTube and leaves the comment, at the end of each month, I pick 3 people and I give away $100 for each. On your bank account, whatever you're going to do with that is totally up to you. Previously, I've given away my sessions, but I also say that sometimes you might need something else and you've been dreaming of having it. So now is your chance. So every time you leave a comment, and we will pick at the end of the month 3 comments, and we'll get in touch with you via Spotify or on YouTube, and we'll send you the money, $100, and you are free will to do whatever you feel like that. Because one of the things is, I've noticed that healing and transformation should not be only, let's say, so-called privilege who have the money. As I know, it's expensive, but I'm going to say why energy healing is expensive, because it's one of the most powerful. If you are looking to change and shift in your life, it is energy activation, it is energy shifting, alchemizing the energy. You don't have to believe me, and I'm not here to, I think I will never ever put like, look, this person did that and they happened to this. Why? Because I know how sacred it is. I know how powerful it is. But I also don't want that it's only available for those who can afford it because they have a job or things. Some people don't. And I'm totally aware of that. So here is your opportunity now. And right before we're going to go into that as well, I'm going to say that our retreat, the retreat email went out for the waiting list people. Not for everyone, but for the people who signed up for the waiting list. I'm going to say, after 24 hours, we have only 1 bedroom with 2 separate beds available. It's a very nice bedroom, and it's in a very nice villa. We have an amazing place. You get to see that on Instagram. You get to see that when you're signed up. I'm only going to say 2 places for November. So if you have been thinking to join that magical event and connecting with like-minded people, like-minded energy, changing your frequency, becoming a magnet, then this is something for you. Do not wait until the last moment. We had over 60 people on the waiting list. And if you haven't received the email, it might be on your spam, or it might be, or don't wait until the last moment. You have payment plans available. You have, all of this is available for you. I'm just saying, if your soul is calling to you in November 2025 to be in Cyprus, then we are more than happy to have you over here. And yes, and any one of you who likes to feel like in May, I'm going to just say, in May on my calendar, you see that there are much less appointments available for energy activation, for channeling, and for the first consultation calls. Due to the fact that I am in 2 weekends fully occupied with learning about the energy, I have trainings of the energy to bring you more magnetism. So just if you've been thinking of, oh, I would like to have an appointment, but you've been pushing it forward and forward and forward, do it, as again, it will help you on this journey. And I will bring in 2 examples at the end what happened to me this week in terms of clients, how for one, I don't even like calling clients. It always makes me, for me, it's you're my soul. With 2 of my beautiful souls, that one had such an amazing experience of their life, and for another one it was so much purging and so much pain and everything. And I will explain that. Why is it like that? So the intro is done, but now let's go into the pain. So let's now ask the question, will this pain ever end? Will it ever end? And the short answer to this is yes and no. The question and the choice is yours. So why I say that yes and no, meaning of we can get stuck in a process of the pain and we don't liberate the pain. And this is something very common on this journey. The pain is not something I wish for someone. No, I don't. But the pain is an indicator for you to awaken. And we know that if you are on the twin flame journey, your twin flame appeared in your life to activate you and show you who you are. The pain is caused from the soul. So that's why it feels very different than any other breakup or any other separation. Some of you have been divorced. Some of you have broken up with their boyfriends before and never felt something. Yes, maybe you were sad. Yes, maybe you felt some longing. But you never felt that deep, deep, deep pain. And you don't understand what is happening to you. You barely know this person, or you had some time together, and somehow it feels so unbearable, this pain. And this is your soul awakening. Soul awakening is not something that is very, it's a deep, deep, deep. And so there is definitely you inside of you, it's inside of you. And I know why is it there, and we get to that. But now, let's ask these questions. Why does the twin flame separation hurt so much? Why is it hurting so much? And here is something we often think of. Why? So many of us, and including myself, I believe that the pain of the separation came from the fact that I lost my twin flame. In that sense, I lost that I had no more contact. There was no way of talking to one another. There was no way of communicating. And I felt alone. I could not sleep. I could feel everything in my body that was activated. And I could not understand what just happened. I went from the very, very high into very, very low. And it was an obsession. I could not control it. It was like something else was controlling this to me. And I tried to control from the mind where we go actually wrong. The mind tries to predict you. The mind tries to plan everything. The mind tries to have a control. But now as you've been activated, and what you are activated on this journey is the Kundalini energy. And you do not control that from the mind. Forget about it. And Kundalini in that sense is very intelligent. It knows that you cannot control that from the mind. It's like pretty much, I would say, the same thing of giving birth, for example. Not every one of you has that experience, but those of you who had or have experienced it one way or another, I know men cannot, and it's very difficult to put into the world, or into the words, what happens to the woman when they give birth. But just an idea is that so many of us can go into the idea of how they're going to plan their birth. You plan, I'll do this, I will not have this, I will do this, I'm going to be in a bath, I'm going to be there, I'm going to have all of that. And then the pain happens, and you no longer care of your plan whatsoever. Whatever you planned on doing is now that you are going to surrender into that pain, because all you want to get rid of that pain, but the pain goes bigger and more voluminous, because what the pain is doing is an indicator for you towards the light. And it's the same on the soul's journey. The pain is telling your soul is out of alignment. And that's what happens to many of you who have done on Patreon my soul realignment. I said that from the very beginning. If you are doing the soul realignment, be ready that it can be turbulence inside of you. But it's not a bad thing. Do I wish pain for people? No, never. But if you are out of alignment of your life and you're trying to kind of fit in and you don't know who you are and you are in that gray area, like you're kind of living but at the same time you're not living and you never felt love in your life. I have said that many times, 90% of the people don't know what love is. And now you've been given that source of love. But we feel so much pain that we start thinking that, oh, because I lost my twin flame, the person who made me feel like home, I never felt home like that, who awakened my soul like I could feel. And it feels like something divine has been taken away from you, and you ask yourself, why me? Why me? Why did they leave? Am I not worthy of this love? Why they left me? Why they are not coming back? Why they don't show me? And here is one of the things we have to realize. And I see this very often. And I did the same. So I'm not going to say that you're doing anything wrong. And that episode idea is not to tell you what is right and wrong in terms of pain. It's about alchemizing that pain. So we understand that when I alchemize my pain, my longing and obsession, I become a magnet. But when I suppress my pain, I will focus on outside. I don't go into that I don't come to this present moment. What happens? You're leaking energy and it lasts longer. That's why the question is, will that pain last forever? And the answer is yes and no. The choice is yours. But I also am going to say, there is a process. Did I see this the way I see it today? No. I would project everything on my twin flame. Meaning of when I received the message from them, I was like, oh, life is beautiful. Oh, wow, I feel so good. Wow, he's back. He's back in my life. Everything is great. I see the truth. And then I go back to that pain of thinking, should I say this? Should I do this? Should I be this? Maybe I'm going to lose them. How am I going to lose them? And again, it showed me that I did not love myself. I was not in alignment with myself. Because if you are in alignment with your soul, you never ask these questions. You never doubt. Because it just feels so natural to you. That's why when we do a holotropic breath work, or also the Kundalini activations, or we had recently the inner dance, when you have that oneness feeling and you come out of it, not for everyone, I'm going to say you, that's why it's a very individual process. We feeling that, but why did I ever ask these questions? Because you're really aligning with your soul. And coming back to the soul realignment, that's what happens to you when you meet your twin. It's one part of the process. You have not been in alignment with your soul. And now your soul is craving for this. You think of this this way, that you as a consciousness, you decided, I'm going to come here on earth. I'm going to show something who I am. I'm going to leave something behind. Whatever it is, it can be the smallest thing or can be the biggest thing. It doesn't matter. There is no scale. There is no comparison. So you came here, and then all of a sudden, you started to limit yourself from your body. Your soul tells you, go and do this. Your soul says, be that. And you are saying, no, I can't do this. No, I'm not ready for this. And so at one point, and this is why I say that you cannot blame your twin flame that they broke you. because it was your soul that was ready for it. Your soul was ready for that activation through the pain. Same way like you come to this earth. When you come to this world, you come through the pain. The channel, the portal is through the pain. So the same is awakening. When your soul awakens, unfortunately, it's through pain. So now, why I talk about it in this way is the fact that we cannot ignore that pain. And this is a big mistake we often do. Meaning of, we don't go inside of ourselves and ask ourselves the questions that are very critical. I'm going to say, you will not ask these questions from the first separation, or on the first month, or the second month, or the third month maybe. No, and that's not something you should know and be aware of. On that moment, it's like you are trying to, the same thing like I brought in the woman who is in labor, you're just trying to survive. It's the same thing, you don't know. You don't know what's happening to you. You feel, am I going crazy? Why am I feeling the shakiness? Why I have this anxiety? Why I have the insomnia? Why the synchronicities are coming all the time to tell me something? And it's overwhelming, and it's overwhelming. So you're not going crazy. You're actually being cracked open. And while yes, like I say, the fact that your twin flame disappeared in your life and not anymore talking or contacting you or not being there can feel like it's their fault. And here is something I another day noticed that a lot of content and a lot of, like they say, like the content that is focused on a divine masculine. As soon as there is a written divine masculine in it, it has very high views and it has a lot of engagement and all of that. And a lot of the comments are about, oh, my divine masculine did this, my divine masculine is that, they are avoidant, they are this and this and this. But how about you look also a little bit inside of you? Why I say that, to look a little bit inside of you, is because you get to liberate it that moment. You can't liberate anything from anybody else, but you can liberate it inside of you. And that's why many of us don't go into the deep, deep healing. And I'm not talking of you, because I have seen so many of you are transforming. But I'm talking of in general, when we think of people like, why they are like this? Why they are doing this to themselves? Because they don't want to face that. And we kind of have to make the peace with this. So the real reason why it hurts so profoundly is because their presence in your life cracked you open. And now your soul is open. The energy of them, or the alchemist, what happened in between that, awakened the parts of you that have been dormant or buried. Parts you didn't even know were longing to be seen, held, or loved. You had no idea that this part of you exists. And when they disappear, what remains is not just their absence. It remains everything they mirrored that is still unresolved within you. And I know we don't like that answer. I wouldn't like that either. Because, and now I'm going to say here two things. It's not about blaming you. It's not going into the state of, I should have been better like this. I should have been doing this. I should have said that. I should be better looking. I should be this. And you go into the blame. No, 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 no. The idea was that you have not been in alignment within you, and that's why it hurts. And the other thing is a comparison. I want to say that on this journey, it's not linear. For some of us, it's 2 years. For some of us, it's 5 years. For some of us, it's 10 years. Depends on your soul, depends on why you're here, depends what you have to purge. And when sometimes we see, and I do bring in at the end of the podcast 2 examples that just happened to me last week, which was so interesting to see, that how 2 people can have a completely different experience And they can come to me and say, I know what is the inner union. And the other one can say, I cannot no longer. I am so exhausted. I just wanna that it's over. So that's why never to compare. And never actually to look at outside of you. Look at inside. You can only shift and magnetize when you look at inside and you let it out. And the way of letting it out is so, actually our bodies are so intelligent here. Crying. You can start crying out of nowhere and you're gonna cry out of nowhere. Does it feel comfortable? No, but you let it out. Your body can start shaking out of nowhere and you don't know why. You let it shake. You can have the pains in your body. One of the best ways, your body is so intelligent. We should never go against what our body tells us. But one of the things is to movement. Anything you can do to move your body, whether it's going for a little walk, going into the sea if you have a possibility, going somewhere where you move your body a little bit, that you help that stagnant energy to move. If you stay and do the same things you were doing before, you can't see the difference and change. It doesn't happen. And so when the pain appears and you don't know what to do, don't freeze. Let it out, everything that has to come out. Your twin flame is your mirror. And the love is just not reflecting your your light. It reflects your shadows, your unhealed wounds, and your deepest fears. And you might not even be aware of what is deep, deep inside of you. So when they disappear in your life, this hidden layer starts to surface. And that's why it feels unbearable. And it's not something that you do or your twin is doing for you. It's not your fault. Don't blame yourself. Don't go into the state, I shouldn't be feeling this way. Why am I feeling? No. It's the Kundalini now that is activating inside of you. And it's not because of the person is living in your life. It is your soul initiating you into the healing and transforming and becoming a magnet. And it's not pleasurable. But I'm going to say side effects over here. When you are in the stage of emotional purging, your body is purging. So much is coming out. Try to be very gentle towards you and try to avoid anything there where you can look at outside for your divine masculine. Meaning of you start focusing only on them. They are like this. They are doing this while you are hurting. Discover why you are hurting and alchemize it. So it's a Kundalini that is rising through your body and is asking to burn away any illusion and anything you remember that you were before that. And the pain is not your punishment, it is a purification. And your soul's cry, it's your soul that is crying. It's not your mind, it's not that, it's your soul that is crying for this integration. And it's for you to return home to you. The next question of what we are often asking on this journey is that we are so desperate to know when the reunion is happening. So we start from this present pain moment, we start when it will happen. Will it be this year? Will it be tomorrow? It's been now 7 days. It's been now 15 days. It's been now 3 months. It's been now 5 years. When they will come back. And this longing is very, very natural because when the connection is so powerful, the absence of them feels like a void. You feel like, I don't know what to do. And in this human experience, we are conditioned to believe that love must show up in a physical form to be real. We only believe when we have a person in our life that this is love. When we are next to each other, this is love. And that's not true. You can have a person next to you, but if they don't feel love to you, is it a love? If they haven't opened their heart, is it a love? That actually brings me often to that question when we are on that, and I know I did the same thing, so don't get me wrong. But when we are on that pain, and all we think of, we want that person back in our life, regardless how they are, then my question is always like, but you're willing to accept something or someone in your life who is not on the same frequency as you. You're willing to have the opportunities that are not in alignment within you, and just to realize a little later that, oh, wait a minute, that was not exactly what I wanted. We have to realize that we attract of who we are as a frequency. And if your frequency is rising, you start changing in your life. Your friends will change, your job will change, your finances will change, a lot of things will change. But before it's going to happen, it's like a house is burning down. And it's scary. But my question is always about that. Just today ask yourself, why am I so desperate to want something in my life that is not in my frequency? Or why I'm not on that frequency to attract that? Remember, you attract who you are. Your inner world, your frequency attracts of who you are. The friendship, the people, your reality. You create your reality. It was very interesting another day. I remember that must have been 15 years ago. And Inception by Christopher Nolan came out. And I remember I watched that and I could not understand anything. I was like looking at that movie and I was like, that's so boring. I don't get it. Like I don't even can't follow up when they are in a dream and when they are not in the dream and what is the dream and all of these kind of things. I could not understand. And funny, when I was preparing for yesterday, I was channeling and meditating about 3-4 hours for and then all of a sudden the Inception started to pick it up for me. And I don't watch TV. I do have a subscriptions from the places, but I don't watch TV. My maximum TV watching is maybe 10 hours a year. I'm not, how do I say? I love nature. I love being lost in my own reality and all of this. But those of you who haven't watched the Inception, I would really highly recommend you to watch after that. It's a long movie. I think it's 2.5. But what I realized there, and I'm going to talk, this is why I also talk about it, and it's funny that it came through, because 15 years ago, I didn't understand anything. So that also shows us, I really want to tell you, the fact that today in that pain, you don't understand that it's not caused because of your twin flame. It's caused because of your soul's awakening and yearning for you to become in alignment, in a magnetism. And why I also talk about this, because I saw what happened to me. I saw what was there. And this is why when people ask me, you're so brave of doing this, I'm like, no. Don't put this under being brave. I just know when I am not in alignment with my soul, I get the pain. And I'm just I just better do it right now than being with that pain. I'm not going to say that life cannot be painful. Life is there to teach you through the pain. You can do that, of course, before that you will not feel it. But that means you're really listening to your soul. You're really going, and sometimes we're gonna experience pain in this life. We're going to experience loss of someone. We're going to experience loss of our own identity, a lot of things, or loss of your old life. And that's normal. We should not feel bad about it. But we should also not focus on our runner or the divine masculine. And why I say that this way is because when you're focusing on yourself, you're alchemizing it. And then there is no question that will they return or not, because your frequency will attract. So coming back to this, I actually before, I know I talk about not a movie, but I just want to say about it how much you are in charge of, and it's a very deep movie in that sense, and it's interesting that it came with that. And so the movie is called Inception by Christopher Nolan, and it's a very deeply, in a sense of layered nature of reality, consciousness, and connection, both with others and within ourselves. And that's why it's interesting, because we are so connected. How many of you have said to me, I've seen you in my dreams. You come to my dreams and you say, it's okay. You can do this. You're going to go through that. How many of you are coming to me? Often I feel energetically and I'm like, okay, my dear, you are there. You can go through that. It's all right. And I don't say to you anything. The next day I see you have booked a call, or and then I just laugh on myself. I say, I know your higher self already came to me. So in Inceptions, you see that the characters enter into the dreams within dreams. So that's why when I saw that 15 years ago, I was like, what is this madness? And they're creating multiple levels of consciousness. And each one of them actually feels like a real world. And why I talk about this today is because you are creating your reality. And when you are not shifting or changing from your inner world, you're creating the reality again to repeat the same thing. And so in a philosophical, like if you look at it in a bigger picture, and the spiritual idea that reality is not fixed. What we perceive as real is shaped by our minds, beliefs, and emotions. And I've said that so many times, that while therapy is wonderful, and I love therapists, and I love everybody who is doing in this world something, I think talking is so powerful. But to alchemize it, we need to alchemize that from inner world, inner path. We need to change that. So the question of that movie also, it questions our own reality. Are you truly awake, or are you dreaming? And how often do we live in a dream of our own making, meaning of repeating our thoughts, fears, and desires without conscious awareness? And there's two examples. What I'm going to bring is not today to say to you that you're doing something wrong. And there in this movie, you see the power of subconscious. You really see the power of subconscious. That's why I love inner dance. Inner dance, in my perspective, is right now, in this world, one of the most powerful healing, transforming method. And that's why for my retreats and everything, I don't want to put myself like, oh, I am the top of the world and I know and I'm going to give. No. I'm humble as a mouse. Or I don't know if mouse is humble. What I mean is, I know nothing. I really know nothing. But if the divine comes to me, I'll share that. If it's a right or wrong, if it comes from the place of love, I share this. And this today's episode idea is also that it's not about shaming the pain. It's not about saying, oh, you're doing everything wrong. How you don't know healing is happening? You need to heal. You need to magnetize. You're going to be the top of the world. No. It's about bringing you the awareness that that's a part of the process. And you have a chance to change and shift it, whether it's today whether it's 1 month or whether it's 1 year. Or maybe it's 15 years, like I now, all of a sudden my consciousness can accept the movie of Inception. Took me a very long time. Talking of somebody who tells you what to do in this life, although I'm not never telling you. This is something I believe that each soul has their own path, each soul has their own growth, each soul has their own way of evolving. And that's why comparing, that's why feeling that, oh, others are doing so much better. I see how they have magnetism. Wow. But me, I'm still stuck here. You're nowhere stuck. Let's now just tap into the subconscious. And so coming back to that movie again, that the power of subconscious, and it's so powerful. That's why I spoke about this on this, maybe 10 episodes ago, the Swiss hypnotist who really says you can really quickly change your life, really quickly. And it starts from reprogramming the subconscious. And it can happen very quickly. And it's the same way how I see with Kundalini transformation, because hypnotism is also connecting to the Kundalini, to the divine. There's so much I can talk about it, and it might go very deep today. I actually hope not, because it can be overloading, because I'm not going to tell you, yes, your divine masculine is stupid, avoidant, narcissist, don't know how to open the heart, while you are perfect, this. No, I'm not going to say any of these things. I know they sell. I know they sell extremely well. I can see that. Anywhere you mention divine masculine, what they are doing wrong, or when they're going to come back, or what is their tarot reading, it sells well. But my soul believes that who need to hear that message here will become magnet, and I'm not selling anything. It's so divine for me, because when I see that transformation, but I also see the pain. I see both. And then I can call, in a sense of, I always say, I'm a midwife here. That's why don't ever be afraid of asking help, talking your story, sharing your wounds, nothing. Because I'm going to be very honest, I'm the last person who judges anybody. I don't even judge anyone's anger. Because I can understand that something is coming out of them. Often after the healing sessions, like first people feel calm, they feel nice, they feel very good. And 2-3 days later, they feel anger, they feel rage, they feel, I'm done, I'm finished, I don't want to feel any of this anymore. And finally we're getting out of you. Because you are tapping into that anger that was there. Or you cry, or you have all of this. And we're getting out of you. And then magic can start to happen. So me, I never judge anybody. It's so easy to look at others, what they have done to us or what they have said to us. But I'm going to say that most of the people, what they say because they are hurting. I don't take personally. I always say, as long as I see that the shift starts to happen. Be angry. Be happy. Cry. Say everything. Because only like this we can alchemize it. But if we come and say, oh, I'm good, yes, I have this and this and this. And then we do the activation and it comes out. And even for me, why I do a lot of activations for myself and why do I go to Reiki and all of that. Another day, must have been a couple of months ago. I went to Reiki, I was really happy, I was really all good. And I came back in the evening and all of a sudden, in my lower parts, like in my hips and lower back, started to have a pain. Not the pain I had never felt before. I was like, that's so weird. Why do I feel such a weird pain? And I don't understand but now I no longer ask the pain. I'm like, okay. Then the tear starts to fall down. No idea again where it comes from. Okay, I might have cried 2 hours. And it was liberated. What it was, I don't know. I can't label it. But the pain, I became one with the pain. I started feeling it. I started becoming it. I was like, okay, all right, my body, I let you out. Do what you have to do. And that's the beauty of energetic work. You're liberating it. And it's no longer in your body, because your body is like a frequency pole, you know? If you have some frequency, you're going to attract that. And so coming back to the subconscious, I can talk so much about it, but it's just, like I said, it's a bit deep. So Inception is also the subconscious mind, which is portrayed in a projection, memory, trauma, and creation. And so the main character, who is Leonardo DiCaprio, who's playing it, the subconscious keep pulling him back to his wife, the late wife who actually passed away, is no longer here, because he hasn't healed from the death. And what it shows to us, this shows that our inner wounds create the realities that we live in every day. Healing our subconscious is necessary to wake up from our suffering and return to the truth. So, again, why you go back to the same and old pattern? Because you haven't healed that, or you haven't transmuted this. And it's creating your reality. Another thing that was very interesting there was the concept of connection. So even though the characters, everything appear to be in a technological setup, there's a very profound sense of emotional and energetic connections. So the dream team always has to kind of like sync together, trust each other, and move as one consciousness through the layers. And what it tells us that this is the interconnectedness of all beings. And I've said that many times, especially those who are doing the group sessions on Patreon with me. We are in a field of consciousness. And another day I received a message on my Instagram from a beautiful soul, where I posted the previous episode about Divine Masculine. And she said, you know what's funny? That I no longer care. I no longer care what they feel or what's happening to them. I'm so inside of me. I said, it's beautiful. That's so beautiful that you're there. I'm not saying that, we shouldn't think of our twin flame. We shouldn't ask the questions. Yes, you can. It's not a shaming here at all. When you do channeling with me and you ask some questions about your twin, it's not a bad thing, because sometimes the consciousness is trying to tell you something and you might not be listening on that moment. So having the channeling, you start realizing, and the same of the connection. Like I said about it, that on this Inception movie, all the connections, energetic connections, they need to sync together to trust each other and go around the way. So if you don't trust that your twin flame will return, if you do not trust your reality, if you do not trust the messages, what happens? You're creating the reality of not trusting it. So when we align energetically, even in altered states, dreams, meditations, spiritual connections, we access deeper layers of unity. And you can call me crazy here. Just come and see on your own. I've said that so many times. And even my soul is saying that when I speak. It's not for me to prove anybody. I always say, you have a free will, free chance to discover this by yourself. I'm not going to convince here anybody. And I will never. But I know it's all happening there. I don't know if you're here, but Bobby is snoring next to me, so Bobby had something to say as well. My dog is Bobby, those who don't know. So another thing is that time is an illusion, and we often talk about it. When my twin flame will return, then I feel good, then I feel connected, then I feel this, then I know. But the time stretches and contracts in the dream world, and that's what happens in Inception. You get to see a few minutes in the waking world becomes hours, days, or even years in a deeper dream levels. So what is in the spiritual way is telling to us that the time is not linear. In the moments of deep presence or deep suffering, the time distorts. It's not the same. When you are in pain, I spoke about the labor, it can feel, your 1 hour can feel 10 hours because you're in pain. Same on the spiritual purging. Your 1 day can feel weeks or months. You feel it's never ending. It's never ending. And when you are in a flow state, you feel like, oh my God, it's already again end of the month. Oh, it's this happening. Oh, wow, what is happening? You know, when you're together, how time flies. And so the real reason behind this, that true awakening often comes when we step outside of the time and enter eternal now. What the power of now is teaching us to come here, right now, right here. Again, I'm going to repeat what I repeated before. You're not doing anything wrong. I wish I would have known any of these things. Or even understand. I told you, I didn't understand about the movie. When this pain was going on, the obsession was going on, the Kundalini was all awakened. I was like, oh, wait a minute. I just need that person. I don't care what you're talking. I think that what I'm talking today, I would have been like, this is nonsense. I need that person. I don't need your healing, transforming, magnetism. What are you talking about? Because I was in a mind. So, and one of the things that Nolan actually on that movie, the Inception, and that's something take with you. What if reality is less about external proof and more about internal peace? And I tell this again. Just listen and close your eyes. What if reality is less about the external proof and more about internal peace? And you choose that from your internal peace. And when Leonardo DiCaprio at the end of this choose to walk away from the totem to this, all of that, what creates these realities, and he chooses to be present with his children and live there, whether it's not is real or not, he chooses love and presence. That's a very powerful thing. It's not about questioning, and this is, I know it's a very deep what I'm talking today and might be difficult to understand why I talk about it, but it's very similar on this journey. If you keep on looking for the outside validation, outside reality, outside all of this, it's very difficult to reach the inner peace and magnetism. Very, very difficult. It does not mean that you're doing something wrong, but the answers are inside of you. And we can unlock them and we can transform them. As I said, I know the time is already so much, and I always think of, and I have so much else to say about this topic. But what I wanted to say to you, I said to you that I will bring in 2 examples, what happened to the clients just last week or this week. I had a beautiful Greek soul. She had an activation with me, I think a month ago. Kundalini activation, energy activation, and channeling. And she came on a session, and such a beautiful soul. Wow. I mean, one of the things I'm going to say, each one of you, I don't know if it's only me who has that privilege, but each person I meet is so beautiful. Like both inside and outside. But sometimes they don't even see outside, like from their inside, how beautiful they are. I'm not talking of that girl right now, but I had another day, a 50-year-old woman, 55, they look so beautiful. And I'm like, wow, you are like a goddess and you don't see that. And to be honest, I didn't see any of this. I'm not saying I'm beautiful in that sense of, oh, I'm the supermodel of the year. No, but what I mean is, sometimes we just don't see how magnetic and beautiful we are, because something inside of us is blocking that. Anyways, I just want to say that I really see how beautiful you are. Each time and that's why I love the Kundalini energy, because it makes you younger, it makes you youthful, it makes you stronger. And that's why it has to get rid of anything that makes you lower vibration. Let it go through your body. Anyways, that beautiful Greek soul came on a call. We had an activation, and now she booked another one. And the first thing, she comes on the call and says to me, I just don't know how much to say thank you to you. My life is like blossoming. I'm a magnet. I feel that inner union. Now I understand is that an inner union? Is that what you're talking about? And I was like, yes, that's what is one of my, and even today's episode's idea. It's not about anything else than your inner union. And I know it's very, very difficult to hear that, because we think that the inner union happens when we choose or when we have a person in our life. But the inner union happens when you become present and you start feeling how everything around you is alive. And you creating your reality, not from the pain, but from the love, from the divine. And you've been given a gift with Tuts Kundalini. So her experience was amazing. And she told me that, because she was at the session, and I say in Kundalini, we do not need to shake all the time. If you see these kind of things online and all of this, I know as a facilitators, we want to show what happens to the body, me self included, because sometimes we don't believe that the energy is going through you. And you'll be like just lying there and you think, I didn't feel much. Don't be fooled by a Kundalini. And so she had like, I think 10 days after or 15 days after, she's sleeping at night, her body starts to tremble. And she hears my voice, which comes and says, your Kundalini is now wide awake. Let it happen. It's rising. And she said, you were so clear. I could hear you. I want to bring one more thing back. It's not me who is doing something. It's you. I am the midwife. I am the trust here when you lose the trust. I am the one who sees the potential, what you don't see today, and I push you there. But it's your Kundalini that is intelligent, that knows. So I never take a credit of this, because I tell you, I wake up in the morning and the first thing of my prayer, of everything, like when I go out with my dog, I say, God, show me what I have to do. Another thing is I thank that energy. I thank this energy. I say, Kundalini, or however we want to say it. Thank you. Thank you for being that magnet. Thank you for doing this. It's not fun. It's not fun at all when the Kundalini does the purification. I spoke about the Kundalini in a previous episode, because it activates you through your twin flame. It can activate before. There can be many things before. So it's not only black and white. This is why this journey is not fixed. But now going to the next stage is, and she said to me, people are coming to me, my clients are growing, they are so happy, they are transforming. And that's another thing I often say on my retreat or even on the workshops. Your job is to go and give that light. When you feel the inner union, when you have the magnetism, when you know that love, that what radiates out of you, you go and give it to others. I am not here ever of holding to myself and say, I know the magnetism, I know the alchemism, I'm holding it to myself because like this, I don't know, I can become more and more and more. We have enough in this world. We have enough in this universe. And when I see people in their alignment, in their mission, in their pure love, I'm just smiling inside. But now let's go to the other part. Right after her, another girl comes on the activation. and she's crying and she says, I cannot anymore. I don't have the strength anymore. When this pain will end to me? I haven't slept for months. I can't eat. I can't connect to people. I don't know who I am. Why is it like this? I feel an anxiety in my body constantly. There is like something is stirring and stirring and stirring, and I don't know where to go. So you see, two very different. One has an experience of the lifetime, and another one feels the pain they never felt before. But that's again, both of them are beautiful in that sense of one is getting rid of that pain. And this is why I say, if you can afford once a month, whether it's a Reiki, whether it's a Kundalini activation, whether it's a breath work, whether it's a yoga, whether it's anything that works for you and you can afford that, please invest in there. Me, of course, I've seen, and for me it took about 18 months of doing everyday work. I've said that many times before. I meditated 3-4 hours a day. I went to the beach. I went to the nature. I lied down there. I had shamans coming on my way. I went to the retreats. I did a lot of things. And then it started to change and shift. This is why many times people can ask, but how did it happen so fast that your twin came and told you all of these things? How did this all happen so fast? And sometimes I say, well, actually, I don't know if it was fast. It didn't feel like fast. But at the same time, maybe that was part of my path. And also, I had help. I did have help. I'm not gonna, like the shaman who came on my way. And this is why we often don't see the, the ripple effect like immediately, in that sense of ripple effect that you do the Reiki or you do the Kundalini activation or you do shaman work or anything, that immediately things start to change. Remember, energy takes about 21, 28 days to settle and shift. And during this time, there's a lot of discomfort. So if there are a lot of wounds, a lot of things that your twin triggered inside of you, it will come and go, come and go, come and go. But the reality, and I want to say again the same thing about it, what Christopher Nolan tells us, what if reality is less about external proof and more about internal peace? Because you are the universe. Like, think of this inner energy of yours is a universe. And what's happening inside of there? The pain is here not to punish you. The pain is not here to pull you down. The pain is here to alchemize it and change and shift. We see that nowadays in this world where we live, we try to suppress the pain. We try to find anything, and that's why we have a lot of addictions. We have a lot of things in this world because it's easier to go that way than letting it out. So don't do that. And so coming back to the person who had a very, very hard time, it's like, because what happened now? We activated the Kundalini, and the Kundalini goes stronger. It says, I know you're ready. It's like, think of it, you are giving birth. I know you're ready. I'm going to push. I'm going to activate that pain. You breathe through. You say, yes, I'm ready to liberate. Yes, I'm letting go of it. Yes, yes. I don't go into my ego of protection. The one topic that I could not talk today because it's already so long is exactly what the ego is doing with the Kundalini. In that sense of when the pain is coming, how the ego is trying to go into the duality of that process. But today, I think in a certain ways, maybe that sparked a light in you of a couple of things. Number one, the pain is not caused by you or your divine masculine. The pain is caused because of your awakening and your soul's yearning of you becoming who you are. So there is no point of going around inside of you and saying, am I doing something wrong? Am I Is that normal for me to feel? Why am I feeling this way? And it is part of this awakening. You're not broken, you are birthing. You're coming into this earth. And you were somehow like never meant to carry the pain. That's what I'm talking. You're never meant to carry the pain. You are meant to transmute into the light. And this is your rebirth. This is your rebirth. And it's only way. I'm gonna be very, very honest. How I see this is going deeply within with an energetic work. Whatever it is, that's the only way. Maybe there is another way. I am not aware of that, and I will know that maybe in the future. But today, what I see is energetic. No matter how much I can talk, no matter how much I can analyze it, no. It is through energy. And that's why and Carl Jung also, just to bring it in, has said that there is no coming to consciousness without pain. And that's the truth. I don't believe that I would have reached to that point, and you can see this even today. It took me 15 years to understand Inception. Didn't understand the movie in the beginning at all. It felt the most boring thing ever for me. It took me 15 years to get to that consciousness of realizing, and I had to feel that through pain. Anyways, that's what I wanted to tell you, that it is your awakening. We know that. Twin Flame is going to trigger your awakening into your fullest potential. You following your soul's voice, your truth, who you are, from the place of love, from the place of consciousness, from the place of knowing what is your truth. Some of you said, could you please talk about how to speak your truth, how to realize what is your truth, how to be that version, even for your twin, or expressing to your parents, or expressing to anyone from the place of truth. So I'll make that as a next episode. I really don't know why these episodes are recently going so long. Looks like there is so much I want to say. The one more thing, now I say that if you comment, if you talk about it, if you share whatever is in the comments in May, at the end of the May, 3 people will receive $100 on their bank account or credit with me, or you decide everything in your life. And that maybe help you to alchemize it, because now is the time. Today is a 555 portal. Change, shift, magnetism is yours. So take a chance, act on it. Like I said, on a retreat, we have 1 bedroom only available with 2 shared beds. Amazing opportunity to meet another beautiful soul, to connect to. There is nothing wrong of actually sharing the bedrooms. And the previous retreats we saw people became good friends. They're supporting each other. It's so connected that they meet up even though they can live in a different worlds. They communicate. So it's your opportunity to find your soul family. And all of the information is on twinflameawakeningjourney.com. And don't wait until last moment. Once it's sold out, it's sold out. And we meet again on the next one if it's yours. But just to say, if your soul is telling you, please come, please connect, be there. We have this time 3 men, which is amazing. Thank you for men. If more men want to join, then do that. But then we need 2 men because it will be the room to share. What else? Patreon, we meet on the 7th of May with your questions. Maybe you have questions today about this very deep and very strange episode somehow. Patreon members, if you support, like I said, I can put more content, have more time to do that. Your support of this channel is enormous. Like, subscribe, do all of that, because if you support, I have more to give. Like energy goes where we put in attention. That's why I say I see how well divine masculine content would do. I know that, and I see that, but then I'm like, no. If I help one soul to become a magnet, wonderful. And if it's a one soul, it's a one soul. It's just because I know that that's what they needed. That's why I had to say that. And anyone who wants to have a call or channeling or activation, which I speak about it, you can do that on twinflameawakeningjourney.com. Just in May, there are a lot less available places, so just try to book it in advance or organize it. We will be in June. We might have more. But now I will be off to the energy training again. Anyways, I can talk forever, but thank you for being here. Lots of love and lots of light.
You know that I lie when I say that I'm fine, 'cause you know me like that. You know me better than anyone I know. Yeah, you know I need space, a little time for myself when I'm stressed and upset. You know me better than anyone I know. Darling, we have been to hell and back. That's how I know this is forever. All these years, every single tear, all the regrets and promises, all the fuck-ups, breakups, bumps in the road, we burn until we break. We keep crashing down, but baby we got up. Yeah, look at us now. After all these years, yours and mine, it's you and I. It's you and I. You won't say it out loud, but I can tell you're not fine, 'cause I know you like that. I know you better than anyone you know. Yeah, I know exactly how you bottle things up inside, but you don't have to be stubborn, so goddamn proud. I know you better than anyone you know. Darling, we have been to hell and back. That's how I know this is forever.